Hello, my name is William. My real name is Thanapad, and my Pali name is Thanapanyo. I will be reading a book about Buddhadhamma, the law of nature and their benefit to life, with the specifically being Chapter 5, the law of karma. On the first introduction, all Buddhist teaching, regardless of their name or title, are illiterate and part of a whole. They all point to the same truth and they all lead to the same goal. They are given different names in order to point out the specific aspect of the truth, or else they are referred to the same thing but look at it from different angle, depending on their particular aim of the teaching. For this reason, certain Dhamma teaching or the principle are subsidiary to a larger teaching, whereas others are equally important and cover the same subject material, but have a unique format and objective. The teaching of dependent origination, Harika Sammupada, describe the entire process of human existence at its encompass, or the Alta Dhamma teaching in a comprehensive way. It is a complete teaching. If one comprehended dependent origination, one understands the essence of existence, or the entirety of Buddhism, as confirmed by Buddha. One who seeks dependent origination sees the Dhamma. In any case, it is generally acknowledged that dependent origination is profound and extremely difficult to understand. Even explaining it is really difficult. For this reason, there are almost no texts dedicated solely to explaining dependent origination. It is more common to find the texts that explain the ultimate division of principles of the Dhamma, which are part of the teaching on the dependent origination. Of these subsidiary teaching, perhaps the most frequently explained is that on karma. The reason for this is twofold. First, this is a subject that is of vital interest to people, and second, an understanding of karma act as a bridge to understanding independent origination. Indeed, a true explanation of karma is one of the methods for making the task of explaining dependent origination somewhat easier. Karma is the only part of the process outlined in dependent origination, which can be divided into three distinct cycles: vata, defilement, kalesa, karma, and the fruit of karma, vipaka. Dependent origination describes the entire sequence of performing violational action, karma, and receiving the consequences for those actions, beginning with the mental defilement, which is the source of karma, and culminating in a fruit of karma, vipaka. Having described the law of dependent origination, along with its component factor, it may seem unnecessary to present a separate explanation on karma. One may claim that by understanding dependent origination, one also gains a clear understanding of karma. The exposition of dependent origination focuses on phenomenon in a pure absolute sense, and it provided a broad, comprehensive perspective from a nature process. It does not emphasize one specific aspect of this process from a practical, everyday point of view. However, the part of dependent originated that is most pronounced directly pertinent to human behavior and is connected to human responsibility is karma. From this perspective, one can say that karma is a chief factor or theme in dependent origination, and the other factors simply support investigation. If one chooses this approach of analysis, dependent origination appears in a form known as the law of karma, and because there are many also crucial factors related to this subject, in the later text, the law of karma became the focus of study more than dependent origination. The discussion of karma deals with human behavior, which is relatively core, easily apparent, pertinent to each immediate moment, which is subtle as the starting point of study. Moreover, the explanation of karma can be done at many different levels. One can explain it on a superficial level, describing cause and effect to an ordinary lay audience. One can describe a unique human circumstances or activity in relation to the karma, or one can delve deeper into various mental processes and explain karma in the context of dependent origination in its complete format. It is for this reason that separate chapters have been dedicated to the subject of karma. 2. Basic understanding of karma. Karma as a law of nature. Buddhism teaches the truth to all the things, both animate and inanimate. both material and immaterial, both physical and mental, both internal and external, that is, all conditioned things, sanghata dhamma, exist according to cause and condition. They are subject to mutual conditionality. This is law of nature. The Pali term for such law of nature is niyama, which is literally translated as fixed with certainty, mode of certainty, rule of certainty, or process of a certain orderliness. When specific cause and condition are present, things process in a certain fashion. Although the law of nature possesses the uniform one characteristic of mutual conditionality, it can divide it according to the distinct attributes, which will express various patterns or aspects of interrelationship, and facilitate understanding based on a Buddhist line of thinking. The commentaries describe 5 distinct laws of nature, niyama. Uttu niyama, law of energy, law of physical phenomenon, physical inorganic order, physical law. This refers in particular to external environment and alterations in physical matter. Example, the weather, and season. The fact that water, soil, and fertilizer assist the growth of plant. The fact that the lotus blossom open during day and close up at night. The process of sneezing and coughing, and the fact that all things are supposed to corrosion and decay. The focus by the commentaries here is alteration induced by heat and temperature. Priya niyama, genetic law, laws of heredity, laws of reproduction, physical organic order, biological laws. For example, the fact that a specific plant will produce a specific fruit. A mango tree, for instance, will always bear some mangoes. Sita niyama, physical law, physiological law, the law of nature pertaining to the functioning of the mind. For example, when a sense stimulus contact a sense space, cognition arises, the passive state of mind, bhavaka sita, is shaken and interrupted. There is an adverting of mind, avajana, seeing, hearing, acceptance, sampatikashana, judgment, santarina, rana, seeing, hearing. Specific mind state may be accompanied by certain mental concomitant siddhasika, whereas they may not be accompanied by the other. 4. Karma niyama, law of karma, order of act and result. Karmic law, more a law, nature law pertaining to human behavior more specifically. This refers to the process of intention and the process of conceptualization, along with corresponding result of this mental activity. For example, if one performs good action, one reap good result. If one performs bad action, dhamma, niyama, general law of cause and effect, order of the norm, the law of nature pertaining to the interrelationship and mutual condition, nearly of all things. For example, all things arise and are sustaining and come to an end. It is the norm that human beings are born, age, fall, ill, and die. The normal lifespan of human being at this time era is roughly 100 years, regardless of whether a Buddha appear or not. It is part of the natural order that all things are impermanent. Dukkha, subject to pressure, and non-self, anatta.